What's up, Steemit and DTube? So anybody watching this on the live stream on YouTube, I apologize if you were just watching the last one. That thing got totally screwed up with my connection. But this is in regards to Trevon James, Craig Grant, and Bernie Sanders and the drama surrounding. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, over on Steemit, basically Bernie Sanders found these couple accounts with Trevon James that basically he had created them at some point and then was upvoting them at 100% because he was getting flagged on all of his stuff. So my question, I guess, to Trevon and Craig is, why don't you guys just quit while you're ahead? You could make full-time incomes just curating content on Steemit and on DTube. But the thing is, it's almost like you're overcome with overwhelming greed. And it seems like that's a reoccurring theme. So I almost feel like these guys are like Ben Solo, if you guys are Star Wars fans, where you want him to turn good, but he just keeps turning bad. So let's check this out. A couple more things about this. So Trevon, if you're just kind of tuning in, his account is worth $1 million, over $1 million. He's bitty rich from the Ponzi scheme, BitConnect, if you guys are just tuning in. So anyway, he does get a lot of curation rewards, even at the low amount he's been voting people, 192 Steem power in the last week, just from curation rewards. He could make a full-time living off of just voting for people, just upvoting people, but it's like he's too greedy. His upvote is worth $70 essentially. And here is one of his fake accounts that he created that Bernie found, but Bernie Sanders found two of these accounts here. So if we see Craig, same situation, his stuff is all grayed out because he's getting downvoted, so he's not getting the payout. Now this one was funny here, where this one was like taking flags like man, and I think it was in that video where he actually did say that Steem needs a guy like Bernie Sanders. It's almost like an alter ego of Ned. And I laughed because when I saw that video, I was like, you know what? He's right. Maybe it is Ned. Who knows? At least it's his alter ego, because Ned has to be nice, but somebody has to protect Steemit to a certain extent, because in a decentralized governance model like this, he will overpower. Let's say someone like Trevon came in with the Ponzi money. You know, he's trying to always pay himself. He's being extra greedy. And then it's just like, well, none of us can overpower him because we didn't make millions of dollars in Shit Connect because we chose not to promote it because it's scammy. So a couple more things I just want to show you. See Trevon. This is his voting power. So if you see this, he's at 97% voting power. And when you see the votes come through, for instance, here's a vote for his fake account, and he did that at 100%. And he does upvote some other people, and it's usually at 1% right there. 1%, 1%, 1%. And, you know, that's pretty typical for him. So here's his fake account. Here's a post on his fake account. Random pictures of life and nature. And he threw up a couple pictures that, you know, he clearly didn't take. And if you see the payout on that, you know, Trevon JB is the highest vote, $71. And if you know anything about Steemit, is basically that is actually a super high payout because the Steem backed dollar is worth like $5 or over $5 right now. Now, here's his fake account and kind of the voting patterns, and he keeps, you know, upvoting these at 100%, his fake accounts. And, you know, here's Craig. So his voting power is at like 98% or 99%. Again, you know, he votes for a few people here and there, but ultimately, it's not like these people actually engage in the community. Let's look at Papa Pepper. His voting power is at 45%. He's doing tons of voting and really burying the needle. Ace 108. His voting power is at 40%, 40.27%. Stella Bell, 52% voting power. And if you're newer to the Steem blockchain. If you're on DTube, on Steemit, you're newer to it, you don't have to bury your power. You don't have to be at 50%. You don't have to be at 40%. You can be at 90% and all that kind of stuff. But Trevon, he keeps trying to pull the race card. Oh, it's because I'm black. No, it's not because you're black. It's not because you and Craig are black. It's just kind of clear over and over and over again. It's just this pattern of greed. One time Stella Bell, and I always say Stella Bella. Sometimes I say Stella Bell. I think it's Stella Bell. But she did a thing about 3 or 4 months ago, and one of the questions I asked in her little kind of her thing where she was commenting, like responding to comments via video, was, do you think that the biggest threat to the Steem blockchain is actually EOS? And she said, no, the biggest threat to Steem is greed. And I agree with her. And we see it with these situations where, you know, guys like Craig and guys like Trevon, they're always, the thing is, they could earn a lot of curation rewards, but they want it all. They're not in Steem. They're not on Steem to sort of like be a part of the community, so to speak. They might do it for a second to be like, oh look, I'm upvoting people, but in reality, it's basically because they essentially want it all. And with Trevon, even like a year and a half ago, a lot of times he wouldn't upvote anybody. He's like, I don't want it to cost, I don't want it to take away from me. He didn't know enough about Steem to really kind of, could you make more just upvoting yourself? Yeah, you could, but it's like it's a short-term game that you're playing. You're not in for the long term. You're not playing the long-term game if you're just upvoting yourself. And it's kind of part of game theory that to, you know, basically share the reward pool with others by upvoting other people, then you're gonna it's gonna work out better for you in the long run. But I guess my question to Craig and Trevon, because I don't think that the lawsuits are gonna go anywhere. To tell you the truth, these class action lawsuits, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. They're not gonna really stick. It could be years before there's even a meaningful hearing potentially on that whole thing. And so ultimately, I think that Trevon and Craig are going to be eternally bitty rich. If they play it right, they're rich for life. So my question is, why don't you guys just quit while you're ahead? That's the most perplexing thing to me. I think that if you guys got on Steem, stop pitching Devore Coin and these other Ponzi's and just posted pictures of your family and stuff. And if that would have been your motive and you upvoted a ton of people and shared in the reward pool because you have the power, the people probably leave you alone. But it's like you're overwhelmed with greed. So that's my main question. And then also with Bernie Sanders, in the situation with him, I think that we need Bernie Sanders because ultimately a situation like this, somebody has to be kind of judge, jury, and executioner in a way. And I know that Rules for Rebels made a video, or he made a post kind of talking about, well, it could be a slippery slope. And I understand what he's saying there, that let's say Trevon, you know, posts like a picture of his family and then it gets downvoted too. Well, and that was before all this stuff happened. So I just think it's a slippery slope, that it's just a pattern thing with Trevon and with Craig. It's like they're in and out of the darkness. You know, you hope that they're coming back from the dark side, but it's like they continually just keep gravitating back towards, you know, being extra greedy. So anyway, that's my assessment. I just want to put that video up. I do apologize for the people who watched the live stream on YouTube this last time around, like 20 minutes ago, because basically my connection had issues and I had to redo this video. See you guys later.